Have you ever looked up at the night sky and suddenly felt that silent pull inside your chest? That strange, quiet moment when the world slows down, when the noise fades, and you realize there's a question you've been avoiding your entire life. What is the purpose of my existence? Maybe you've asked it at 2 a.m., maybe during a moment of heartbreak, or maybe while sitting alone in your car, staring out the window, wondering why everything feels both so heavy and so empty. And the truth is, you're not the only one. This question has lived inside every human being since the beginning of time. Last night, I lay on the grass beneath a sky full of stars. And in that silence, I felt the presence of millions of souls who asked the same question before me. Philosophers, warriors, dreamers, mothers, fathers, lonely people, successful people, broken people. Every one of them staring at the same sky. Every one of them waiting for the same answer. And here's the beautiful thing. The purpose of life is not written in the stars. It's planted inside you. A seed. Waiting. Quiet. Hidden. Alive. That's why no one can hand you a purpose. Not society. Not your family. Not your job. Not even God himself in the way people imagine. Because a God-given purpose can turn dangerous when someone believes their mission is more important than life itself. Life is the purpose. Life itself, this breath, this heartbeat, this consciousness, this chance to experience everything. But we forget that. We confuse the ambiance of life, our house, our family, our job, our achievements with life itself. But those things are just decorations. Life is the beating thing inside your chest that won't let you sleep. Because it knows you're meant for more. Let me tell you a hard truth. Most people live their whole life chasing a purpose that isn't even theirs. A job title, a relationship, a bank account, a dream someone else told them to pursue, a purpose copied from the world, not discovered within. And one day, after climbing the mountain they thought was success, like Matsu, they look around and realize, when I climbed the wrong damn mountain. Maybe you know that feeling. That quiet emptiness, even when life looks good on paper. That whisper telling you, this isn't it. People create false purposes because they're scared to face the truth. They feel lost inside the psychological walls they built for themselves. Walls made of fear. Walls made of expectations. Walls made of identity. Walls made of who I'm supposed to be. These walls feel safe, familiar, comfortable. But they're also a prison. And the moment you realize you're trapped, you've already taken the first step toward freedom. You see, the greatest thing about life is that it doesn't come with a meaning. There is no final answer, no perfect purpose waiting at the end of some spiritual treasure hunt. If there were and you finally found it, then what? You'd get bored. Life is meant to be explored, not solved. Even if you spent 10,000 years studying every detail of existence, even if you spent 1,000,000 years observing every inch of your own mind, you still wouldn't understand all of it. That's how vast life is. And that's why it keeps you alive. Curious, growing, becoming. You don't need a purpose to live fully. Life is so unbelievably rich that it can keep you fascinated for eternity. If you're awake enough to pay attention, the only reason people feel purposeless is not because life is empty, but because they are trapped in their mind, not their life. Thoughts, emotions, stories, memories, expectations. All of it becomes louder than the actual experience of living. Before you search for purpose, you need something more important. Balance. Because if you start dismantling your identity, your beliefs, Your psychological walls without balance, you fall into chaos. That's why people numb themselves with alcohol, drugs, distractions. Because for a moment, these things break the walls, but they do it without giving balance. Freedom without balance, destruction. Emptiness, collapse. But freedom with balance, that's where real life begins. When your mind is calm, your heart is steady, your emotions no longer control you, then the prison you built around yourself becomes easier to escape. Then your purpose, your real purpose, begins to reveal itself. Not through loud voices, not through miracles, not through a calling, but through a quiet, natural pull. People wait their whole lives for the universe to hand them a mission. They want a divine voice to say, "Here, this is what you were born to do." But life doesn't work like that. Your purpose is not waiting for you. It's waiting on you. It grows inside your choices, inside your curiosity, inside the things that make you lose track of time, inside the pain you've survived, inside the dreams you're secretly afraid to admit. And you don't need to make a grand gesture to live with purpose. Sometimes the purpose of your life is simply to be fully alive today, to be present, to be aware, to explore something inside yourself you've never explored before. Purpose is not a destination. Purpose is a direction. With everything you've been through, everything you've survived, everything you're still trying to understand, what if the purpose of your life isn't something you discover, but something you experience? What if your job is not to find one answer, but to explore every corner of who you are before your last breath? What if purpose is simply this: to live totally, to leave nothing inside you unexplored, to know this life, your life, in its entirety? Think about this for a moment. If you locked yourself inside a room and you held the only key, then technically you're not trapped. You're just scared to open the door. That's how most people live, not because the world put chains around them, but because they wrap the chains around themselves. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Your biggest prison is the identity you created to survive. The person you think you have to be. The roles you cling to. The labels the world gave you. The expectations you silently agreed to carry. You call it my personality, but in reality, it's just your psychological structure. A structure that once protected you, but now quietly suffocates you. And the moment you feel that suffocation, you also feel the longing for something more. Something real, something raw, something alive. That longing is not depression, it's not confusion, it's not weakness. It's your life force trying to break out of the shell you built around it. You know what's strange? Humans crave safety so deeply that we're willing to lock ourselves inside a mental cage just to feel in control. We create emotional walls. Don't get hurt again. Don't take risks. Stay small. Don't disappoint anyone. We create belief walls. This is who I am. This is who I'll always be. This is all I can do. And we create identity walls. I'm the responsible one. I'm the strong one. I'm the broken one. I'm the one who never succeeds. Walls. They feel safe at first, comfortable, predictable, but then one day the walls begin to close in, and you realize you're not living. You're maintaining. You're not exploring life. You're surviving it, and that's the moment the soul whispers, "Break the walls. You were not born to live inside a cage." Here's the part most people never understand. When life inside the cage becomes unbearable, instead of breaking out, they create a purpose to justify staying inside. I have to stay for my family. I have to stay because this job needs me. I have to stay because this is who I'm supposed to be. I have to stay because God wants me here. People cling to these invented purposes because they're afraid of the unknown outside the cage. A fake purpose is still a prison, a decorated prison, a noble prison, a socially accepted prison, but still a prison. And the saddest part? People live their entire lives inside something they could have walked out of at any time. If only they had the courage to open the door. Before you break out, there's something you must understand. Freedom without balance destroys you. That's why people chase freedom through alcohol, drugs, distractions, addictions. They want the walls to break for a moment. But breaking walls without inner balance leads to collapse, not liberation. Freedom gained through chaos is not freedom. It's an escape, a temporary illusion. But real freedom is the kind that brings peace, clarity, meaning, comes from balance first. When your mind is steady, your emotions grounded, your awareness alive, then you can dismantle your old identity without losing yourself. Then you can walk out of the cage without falling apart. Balance is not perfection. It's not calmness. It's not having everything figured out. Balance is simply this. Your thoughts don't control you. Your emotions don't overthrow you. Your fears don't cage you. When you're balanced, you can feel deeply without drowning. You can think intensely without spiraling. You can face uncertainty without collapsing. And only from this place, only from balance, can you begin the journey toward real purpose. Because purpose is not found in chaos, purpose blooms in clarity. The greatest lie ever told is, you must find your purpose. No, you must explore your possibilities. Life doesn't come with a script. Life doesn't give you a roadmap. Life doesn't hand you a mission like a job assignment. Life gives you one thing: potential. A breathtaking, limitless, terrifying freedom to shape your own meaning. You don't find purpose. You build it. You create it. You live it into existence every day, every choice, every step outside the cage. Purpose becomes real through action, not thought. People think living totally means traveling, partying, making money, living wild. But living totally means something far deeper. Before you die, you must know this life, your life, in its fullness. You must explore every dimension inside you, leave no feeling untouched, leave no fear unconfronted, leave no dream unattempted. Before your last breath, you should be able to whisper, I did not waste this. I explored all of it. Living totally doesn't require success. It requires courage. It requires presence. It requires engagement with life. Not half alive, not numb, not asleep, but awake, aware, alive. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a certificate of purpose. You don't need the universe to speak to you. All you need is this: one honest step outside your psychological walls, one moment of courage, one choice that comes from your soul, not your conditioning. Because once you feel real freedom, even for a second, you can never go back to being caged again. This is where purpose begins, in the decision to live as a piece of life, not a piece of identity. Your purpose isn't out there. It's not waiting in the future. It's waiting in you, the real you, the you behind the walls. Let me ask you something deeply personal. And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Not comfortable, not safe, not fine. Alive, awake, electric, like your soul was on fire. Most people can't remember. Because somewhere along the way, life stopped being something they experienced and became something they endured. But listen to me carefully. Your life is not meant to be endured. Your life is meant to be lived. And the moment you realize that, the moment that truth hits your chest like a wave, everything begins to shift. You've spent years running from your fears, running from your insecurities, running from the voice inside that whispers, hey, this isn't who you really are. Running from the past, running from expectations, running from the pressure to be everything for everyone. But here's the paradox. You weren't running from life. You were running from the life inside you, the untamed part, the raw part, the part society tried to quiet, the part you buried to fit in, the part that knows your true purpose. Long before your mind tries to define it, the moment you stop running, the moment you turn around and face yourself, something extraordinary happens. Life catches up to you, and it doesn't punish you, it embraces you, because life has been waiting for you to come back home. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You don't need a sign. You don't need a guarantee that it will work. Purpose doesn't ask for permission. Purpose asks for participation. You don't wait for life to open the door. You open it yourself. You don't wait for confidence. You act, and confidence grows later. You don't wait until you figure everything out. You step into the unknown and figure it out on the way. That's how every great life is built. Not with certainty, but with courage. The same courage that's been quietly sleeping inside you, waiting for the right moment to rise. Guess what? The moment is now. The world tells you you're behind. Social media tells you you're not enough. People around you push their timelines onto your life. But listen carefully. There is no timeline. There is no deadline. There is no race. You are not behind. You are simply at your chapter, not theirs. And purpose doesn't come to you when you're ahead. Purpose comes to you when you're honest. Honest about your pain. Honest about your fears. Honest about your dreams. Honest about the parts of yourself you've been hiding. You are not lost. You are not late. You are exactly where your transformation begins. Every challenge you've faced, every heartbreak, every failure, every silent night where you questioned your worth was not a punishment. It was preparation. Your pain wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to sculpt you. Your struggle wasn't meant to shrink you. It was meant to awaken you. Every moment you suffered quietly, thinking nobody saw, life saw. Life was shaping you into someone who understands depth, meaning, resilience. The people who hurt you, they created your compassion. The situations that broke you, they built your strength. The moments you thought were the end were really the beginning, the birthplace of your purpose. You didn't go through all that for nothing. There is meaning in everything you endured. And that meaning is uniquely yours. People think purpose is a complicated path, but it begins with one simple, powerful decision. I will no longer live as a smaller version of myself. That's it. Not, I need a perfect plan. Not, I need to feel ready. Not, I need all the answers. Purpose begins when you take your power back. When you say, I choose truth over comfort. I choose growth over fear. I choose life over survival. I choose me over the identity the world gave me. And when you make that decision, your energy shifts. Your voice changes. Your posture changes. Your eyes change. Life responds to you differently. Because now, you're no longer asleep. You think you need to be perfect before you start. No, the world doesn't need your perfection. It needs your authenticity, your courage, your story, your heart, your humanity. You don't inspire people by being flawless. You inspire people by being real, by showing them that wounds can heal, that failures can become fuel, that confusion can become clarity, that lost can become found. You inspire by being someone who kept going. Purpose isn't about impressing the world. Purpose is about impacting it. And you impact the world the moment you dare to shine. So here you are, right now, in this moment. You've heard the truth. You've felt the pull. You've stared at the walls of your cage. You've seen the door. Now comes the choice. The choice that separates the life you settle for from the life you were born to live. Do you go back to the prison of who you were? Or do you step into the freedom of who you can become? Only you can answer. But I'll tell you this. You came into this world as pure possibility. You were born to experience, to explore, to evolve, to create, to awaken. You were born to live totally. To leave nothing unexplored inside your own existence. This life, your life, is the greatest gift you'll ever receive. Don't waste it. Don't shrink it. Don't hide it. Don't sleep through it. Open the door, walk out, step into the world as your true self, and whisper to life, I'm here. I'm ready. Let's begin.